Ancient Egypt stood as one of humanity's earliest and most enduring powers, a society shaped by the desert, the river, and a profound conviction in eternal life. Its story truly began around 3150 BC, when a ruler united the lands of Upper and Lower Egypt into a single realm. The Nile River served as its lifeline, delivering annual floods that enriched the soil and sustained its people amid harsh surroundings. Egyptians revered their kings as pharaohs, living gods destined to guide both the nation and the journey beyond death. Vast structures like pyramids and temples were erected not merely as displays of might, but as gateways to immortality, designed to endure through the ages. In its New Kingdom era, Egypt achieved unparalleled greatness. Leaders such as Thutmose III, Amenhotep III, and Ramesses II expanded its borders, subduing regions in the south like Nubia and pushing northward into parts of the Levant. Grand sanctuaries honored deities like Ra, Osiris, and Amun, and for a time, the civilization appeared invincible. Yet no realm escapes fragility. Over centuries, powerful priests challenged royal authority, internal divisions grew, and the Nile's reliable floods became erratic, leading to poor harvests and unrest. One pharaoh, Akhenaten, sought radical change by elevating a single solar deity, the Aten, above all others, disrupting traditions and alienating the elite. His reforms were swiftly undone after his passing, with records of his reign largely erased. Later rulers like Ramesses III repelled invasions from groups known as the Sea Peoples and others from the west, but these defenses drained resources. By around 1070 BC, the unified kingdom fractured, with priests dominating the south and military leaders the north. The once mighty builders of eternal monuments struggled to sustain their people. Foreign powers, Assyrians, Persians, and eventually Greeks and Romans, gradually asserted control. Egypt's decline unfolded gradually, marked by environmental shifts, invasions, and loss of central power. It pursued immortality through stone and ritual, leaving behind wonders that endure in human memory long after its independence faded. The Roman Empire. Rome started as a modest settlement along the Tiber, rooted in legend and forged through relentless drive and organization. From humble origins, it grew into a dominion that influenced much of the ancient world. By the 1st century AD, its network of roads linked vast territories, home to millions, while legions enforced order and aqueducts, arenas, and forums symbolized enduring strength. The era of Augustus ushered in the Pax Romana, a prolonged stretch of relative stability where commerce thrived, urban centers flourished with learning and arts, and Roman standards extended from northern Britain to the edges of Egypt. It projected an image of permanence, governed by law and protected by divine favor. But prosperity masked growing vulnerabilities. Excessive wealth fueled corruption among officials, leadership became unstable with frequent assassinations, and citizens grew detached, distracted by games and handouts. Constantine the Great attempted renewal by adopting Christianity and shifting the capital eastward to Constantinople in 330 AD, effectively dividing the realm. The western portion weakened under repeated pressures from migrating tribes, economic strains, and internal discord. In 410 AD, Visigoths entered and plundered the city of Rome itself, an event that shook the world. By 476 AD, the final Western emperor was removed from power. Rome's downfall stemmed not from a single battle, but from gradual erosion, overextension, division, and the relentless passage of time. Some empires emerge not from grand cities, but from the vast grasslands and unyielding spirit of nomadic warriors. In 1206, a leader named Temujin united fractious tribes and assumed the title Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. What started as alliances among horse-riding peoples swiftly expanded into history's largest connected land domain, reaching from eastern seas to the Mediterranean. Mongol horsemen, masters of the bow and swift maneuvers, overwhelmed foes with speed and coordination. Under Genghis and his heirs, they subdued immense regions, linking distant cultures through protected trade paths like the Silk Road. For a period, a Mongol peace allowed exchange of ideas, goods, and innovations across continents. Yet conquest-driven realms often harbor internal fractures. Succession disputes arose after key deaths, leading to civil conflicts among Genghis's descendants. By the late 13th century, the unified empire divided into separate khanates, each following independent courses. Plague outbreaks in the 1340s devastated populations, disrupted commerce, and deepened chaos. In conquered lands like China, rulers grew alienated from local ways, sparking uprisings that expelled Mongol control by 1368. One by one, the successor states weakened and dissolved amid war, disease, and rebellion. The Mongols reshaped the world through force and connection, but could not sustain unity against division and unforeseen calamities. The British Empire. At one point, maps showed vast areas under British influence, an empire so expansive that daylight always touched some part of it. Peaking after the First World War, it encompassed nearly a quarter of the world's people and land, from African interiors to Asian heartlands, Canadian expanses to Pacific Isles. Naval dominance, industrial advances, and determined expansion built this network, fostering trade, infrastructure, and cultural exchange under the Pax Britannica. It appeared boundless and indestructible, but global conflicts exposed its limits. Victory in the First World War came at immense human and financial cost, straining resources and sparking demands for self-rule in colonies. The Second World War proved even more debilitating. Britain emerged triumphant yet depleted, reliant on foreign aid, with prestige shattered by losses like Singapore. Rising superpowers, the United States and Soviet Union, dominated the post-war order, opposing colonial holdings. Nationalist movements gained momentum, culminating in India's independence in 1947, the empire's most prized territory. Events like the 1956 Suez Crisis underscored Britain's diminished authority as international pressure forced withdrawal. Through the 1960s, African and other colonies followed suit, achieving sovereignty amid waves of change. Exhausted by wars, burdened by costs, and facing a world rejecting imperialism, Britain transitioned from empire to commonwealth. No single foe conquered it. Rather, ambition, exhaustion, and evolving global ideals led to its quiet dispersal. If you've read this far, thanks for joining the journey through these historic rises and falls. Let me know what era or topic you'd like explored next.